Tonight on 10 at 10, uproar over apartments. How a potential apartment complex in a residential area could keep buyers away from homes.
Plus, police are on the hunt for a suspect involved in a stabbing at a local nightclub. Why his charge was upgraded.
And it's a snap for cash. Why a local university began a selfie scholarship for students. Abilene's local news starts now.
From Abilene's first television station, your news in your community. This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 10.
Good evening, I'm Randy Turner.
And I'm Dane Murray. Thanks for joining us for KRBC's 10 at 10, where you get your top stories and tomorrow's forecast all in the first 10 minutes.
And our top story tonight, high-end apartments could cause high numbers in crime. At least that's the concern that many residents living in the Wiley area have about new living spaces in their neighborhood.
With a rezoning approval, the complex would be located on both sides of Sierra Sunset off of Buffalo Gap Road. KRBC Shannon Valladolid is live in studio to explain how these new apartments could bring added headaches to residents. Shannon?
Dane and Randy, I spoke with several people in this community regarding this issue, and they all say the same thing, that they're going to keep fighting to ensure this complex is not built by their home. The only problem is the company has already purchased the land and are working to increase the amount of apartments they can build, which is only making residents even more upset.
Residents who live here call it one of the most desirable areas in town, but with the new proposed apartment complex in the works at the Bella Vista Estates, many are concerned that the area won't be as desirable.
Our community is mainly concerned about the drop in house value.
When you bring an apartment complex near a housing area, it'll bring the value of the houses down real estate wise, and none of us want that.
Drop in house value is just one of the many concerns.
Crime is a big concern because you can't control who moves into apartment complexes.
We don't want the apartments to come in, mostly because of the traffic.
Residents say the traffic can get so bad, what is normally a 5-minute drive can take 20 minutes. And with an extra 400 families living there, it's going to make driving a nightmare.
If you've driven down 707 during school time or during church time, it's a mess.
Now this area is zoned to have only 400 apartment complexes, but the company says they want 432, which has a lot of residents in this area concerned because that means more children will be living here and going to Wiley ISD, which already has an influx of students.
I know that a lot of the apartments are 2 and 3 bedrooms, which typically means more kids, and I don't want my kids to be crammed into a classroom.
The company also wants the height of the building to reach 45 feet, but the city only allows the building to be 40 feet.
If they do build it that tall, then it's going to be pretty invasion of privacy, so I really hope they don't build it.
I spoke with a local realtor who said the new apartment complex might be good for business because people living at the apartments might be interested in buying a home in that area. The Abilene City Council would discuss the proposed changes to the upcoming apartment complex at the May 14th meeting. Live in studio, Shannon Valladolid, KRBC News.
All right, thank you, Shannon. And Randy, storms are brewing in the big country. What's the outlook for tomorrow?
Well, we have about a 30% chance for some thunderstorms, and we should have some rumbling around the area tomorrow afternoon and even this time tomorrow night. But right now, it's mostly clear skies covering the big country this evening, so we'll move on to your weather headlines now for tonight. And we'll call for those headlines to have increasing cloud cover during the overnight hours tonight. And a few storms may turn severe, so we'll try to move this along for you. And there you go. There are your weather headlines. Some storms may turn severe tomorrow. Storms continue into the early morning hours of Thursday. Now, this is our convective outlook for tomorrow. It's courtesy of the Storm Prediction Center. We are actually on the low-end threat of severe weather. Marginal, meaning a few severe storms. The strongest storms tomorrow should be in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, closer to a low-pressure area. For the big country tomorrow, 68 early in the morning, 80 by noon. Lots of clouds around, and our chance for thunderstorms will begin by mid-afternoon, continuing into the evening. A few strong to severe.
Police have upgraded the charge for a suspect involved in a deadly stabbing. Noe Trevino is now wanted for murder. His original charge was aggravated assault. for a stabbing at the Old School Club in Abilene. The victim suffered multiple stab wounds in an attempt to break up a bar fight. He died a few days later from those injuries. And the search continues on this case. Abilene police ask if you have any information on Trevino's whereabouts to call Abilene Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen.
New tonight at 10, a local university is using the popularity of the selfie to encourage a better campus community. The First Time campaign allows students to snap for cash. And with the financial burdens of college these days, the front-facing camera has become a co-ed's tool to success. McMurray University introduced the 5 for 500 scholarship as a way to increase student-faculty interaction. Students on campus took selfies with professors and faculty, and then they uploaded them to the McMurray Facebook page. Then their peers voted on whose selfie snap was the best. The top 5 were awarded a $500 scholarship. And one of the winners says the extra cash is a weight off her bank account.
I have 2 jobs, a student job and an off-campus job, so it's going to really, people are like, oh, it's only $500, but for me, that's possibly $500 that doesn't have to come out of my pocket, that I have to work for.
The university hopes the scholarship will show students it wants them to keep pursuing their dreams no matter the finances. The 545 campaign was such a success, McMurray plans to continue with it for years to come.
A new report from the U.S. Department of Education shows a greater need for access to high-quality preschools for Texas children.
Since the world is ever-changing and it continues to become more fast-paced, children spend most of their time indoors and their social skills can suffer. Brain researchers and developmental specialists will tell you that children with high emotional skills will be more successful in school than children that have high IQs.
Region 14 Head Start Coordinator Anna Karen Frost says that the early childhood skills and experiences helps youngsters to become more outgoing, which helps them for the rest of their lives.
What brain research has told us is that the most important developmental ages of a child are birth through age 5. And that's when actually every experience they have changes their brain. It literally is developing their brain.
Frost says Region 14 makes an effort to promote how important Head Start and pre-K programs are to the community. The organization believes that early education is the foundation to a successful future.
And staying on the school train, another university is bringing the reality of success to its students. High-profile figures continue to be brought to town as part of Abilene Christian University's Distinguished Speakers Series. The featured speaker in the series today was Matthew Rose. He's the Chief Executive Officer of BNSF Railway, one of the top transporters of goods in North America. Rose also spoke at a luncheon for the general public. He shared his business expertise and personal experiences. Organizers of the series spoke about why bringing success straight to the classroom will benefit students.
It's easy to read about somebody, it's easy to see about somebody on the news, but when they're in your presence and you see what that looks like, to me, that's part of our educational process. And so speakers like Matt and Mike Duke and Mark Albers who came really are providing a great benefit to students. And someday, the students will say, that guy came to my class.
The program focuses on bringing 2 high-profile figures to the Big Country each year. The next speaker will be here this fall. Randy?
Now, your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Randy Turner.
Let's get started with a look at your almanac for the day today. We had a high temperature of 91 degrees. That's 6 degrees away from the record for today's date. The official high 91, 97 being the record. And as you see, this morning's low of 66, but the record low on today's date only a few years ago in 2009 was 28 degrees, and we had no rainfall today, but we had plenty of allergy. Oak and cedar take the lead in the report, keeping tree pollen in the high category, medium amounts of grass and weeds on your report for today. A low, make that grass and medium, low weeds and low mold count for today. Well, not much going on in the Big Country tonight. Some thunderstorms crossing over the Rio Grande, the dry line off to the west of us, and a cold front to the north of us. But here in the Big Country, a little bit closer look. As you can see, just clear skies across the area. Here is one of our weather makers for the next couple of days. Upper level low coming into California. This is the path it's going to take. I'll show you just in a minute how that may influence our weather. 77 right now at the airport. The wind has actually picked up a little bit once again. It's southeasterly at 17. Dice Air Force Base 76 degrees. Winds from the south at 20 miles per hour. Temperatures as of 10:10 tonight. Well, Low 70s, Brownwood and Comanche, mid 70s in Coleman, still holding on to 81 degrees. The 81 in Robert Lee, and 80 Knox City as well as Stanford. But everybody else from Breckenridge to Abilene, Sweetwater, Snyder, Jayton, and Aspermont in the upper 70s for tonight. And pretty much the entire state in the 70s this evening. Lubbock and Amarillo in the 60s right now. Here are the wind speeds across the area. Notice they have shifted more southeasterly, so helping to pump in that moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico tonight. Wind speeds ranging in between 5 and 17 miles per hour. So the dry line in West Texas and quiet weather in west central Texas tonight. But we have this upper level low and associated cold front that as we go through the night tonight, it's going to make its way into the Rocky Mountain areas. Now by tomorrow morning, 8:30, some low cloudiness coming in. The dry line well off to the west of us. We're going to focus in on what begins happening by late tomorrow afternoon. Just a few thunderstorms trying to pop up around the area. Then maybe a little bit more numerous going into tomorrow night, especially across our southern counties. But we may also have enough cloud cover tomorrow that will make the atmosphere a little